Well then, I went and I paid my $14. And I watched Convicted and Murderer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. I watched them all so far. Candace, yeah. This is going to be a lot easier than I thought because these people opened up Candace, okay? And the problem with that is I've got recs, cuts, edits, voiceovers. I know what he did, and I know what he didn't do. I know where he lied. I know where he didn't. I know it all. And this is going to be, pretty easy, actually. Yeah. Candace, you did more to get Stephen Avery out of prison than to keep him in, okay? Because now we have two competing. We have two of them. All we have to do is just match both of them up, and guess what? I find that convicting a murderer is more deceptive than making a murderer. Yeah, it was a little bit I've got way more deception in convicting a murderer than I have in making a murderer. Yeah, Oh, fuck. All the tricks are there. We know them. Don't worry about it. I am scripting this out as in basically real time. Okay? Candace, yeah. Here's what I notice throughout the entire thing. You all say Teresa's RAV4. Just like they all do. Allie Apston, Teresa's RAV4. Casey Oliver, Teresa's RAV4. There's like no thought. It's just Teresa's RAV4. You know how many Teresa's RAV4 I got in all of Convicted a Murderer? You know how many Teresa's RAV4 I got in all of Convicted a Murderer? You know how many Teresa's RAV4 I got in Brendan Dash? Everybody just saying, Teresa's RAV4, Teresa's RAV4. And that's how you guys do it. The cops, green, dark green, light green, the cops. All this entire investigation, all these people involved, and that's in the investigation. And then we got the trial and all this shit. Then we got Brendan and all this shit. We got all this crap. Then making a murderer. We got millions of people. Convicting a murderer. Millions of people. Brendan Dassey. False confession. Millions of... And guess what? One letter. And boom, Stephen Avery's address is 12932. Shouldn't go to Stephen Avery. It can't. The landline is not to Stephen Avery's house. The landline is not to Barb Janda's actual house, the one with the A on it. And then there's the office, the one with no A on it. The one where, well, pretty much everybody else gets their mail. Everybody down here gets their mail. The only person different is Barb because her mail goes up here. Okay? You see? That's what happened. Now then, you know what dual dialogue is? Yeah, dual dialogue. I've got Cammie Rathson. And I've got that other chick, whoever her name is. Anyway, Levy, Annette Levy. And I got them side by side. And then we go down in the sheriff's department when it goes to Cam, right? And she says that they're looking for the vehicle, and the vehicle looks just like this. Then they show a picture of a 6P3 deep jewel green, one-tone, 1999 Toyota RAV4. on the one side for making a murderer, convicting the murderer, cuts it out, and we start, Annette Levy just starts talking away about bullshit when they're over there showing you the car they'll be looking out for, and Levy's going, well, this place is abandoned. I used to work here 10 years ago. Who gives a fuck? Okay, here's what happened, is they cut it out and they ran it through. Teresa Hallbach, height, weight, this, that. Oh, and then when they went into it, right, they had to fade in after Cammy Rapson and Bill Jart's name went off of it. So you wouldn't see who they are. You wouldn't get their names. You get their names in Making a Murderer. You don't get their names in Convicting a Murderer. You get 6P3, there it is. They show the whole freaking thing. And when you go to Convicting a Murderer, Sean Reck knows that this is going to be a problem, so he just fades out and fades into Annette Levy talking about some fucking bullshit while this is going on. See, so, no, Candace. So far, with what I've seen, Convicting a Murderer is way worse than Making a Murderer. So far, in deceptive editing. I have every single second, every word, every cut, every splice, every caption, every fade in, every fade out, and you suck! It sucks! Actually depends on how you look at it, though. If you were trying to convict Stephen, yeah, you suck. Way worse. If you're trying to fuck the viewers, more or less, convicting a murderer is much more egregious than making a murderer. Making a murderer, it's this and that, and Andy Colburn, and who gives a flying fuck? Okay? I don't care. But convicting a murderer only lightened up some of the things in Making a Murderer, and you combine the two, and then you do the editing, and you get a fairly decent rendering of the whole thing. All right? You get Candace to fuck out of it, okay? You got a good rendering of both. Just wreck shit without Candace. Just cut Candace all the way. Everything Candace does, just cut her out. It's needless. She's just there as a talking head. Leave her alone. Go back to Rex shit. Okay? Rex is a deceptive motherfucker. He's deceiving. I'm on the other end. I can just do editing. I know how to make frickin' movies, Rex. I can backwards engineer everything you did, and I am. I'm going to backwards engineer. And then I'm going to take all those, thank you very much, for all the mistakes in Making a Murder, backwards engineer those. And show that both of you are two peas in a fucking pod. You're out to deceive us. This is Ken Kratz. Ken Kratz, great. Jesus Christ! It's worse! It's worse! For all the mistakes that are made in it, all the deceptions that's made in it, but it's the assumptions that kill me. Well, we found Teresa's vehicle. No, you didn't. Why? Because you think you found Teresa's vehicle, but you use what's known as lazy language. Cops, in this case, well, I'm going back there to take a look at a green or a blue RAV4. Well, why does it say a green or a blue? It's either green or blue. It's not green or blue. You know? Why has he already got that? Because there's a mix-up between green and blue. That's where the switch came from. That's where nobody else but Chuck and Bobby could have put that out there. Okay? They got it from Cleveland Auto. They had it brought down. It stayed for overnight or something like that. Then they went out there. They staged their event where the guy went around, then they went out there and they planted it. All right? But they had it in the garage when they flew over. Not Avery's garage, but one of the other garages. Then they put it out there, then gone. It wasn't out there the day that they went to go take pictures of it. It wasn't out there the day that they flew over because Andy kept telling Charles what they're doing, and then Charles will not do it so that they wouldn't set Stephen Avery up. Yeah. But just to let you know, folks, and another thing, this wreck dude picks on, let's see, makes Stacy Seabrook look like shit, makes Casey Oliver look like shit, makes basically shits on Albie Apperson, shits on her, you know. Sean Atwood shits on him, making us look bad. Well, if you think I'm going to let that go, you just handed me Kratz's ass. You handed me all their asses. Why? Because your documentary, this Convicting a Murderer, explains a few things. Not the way you think it does. It explains a few things. Yeah. I'm writing DailyWire, Making a Murderer, Convicting a Murderer, Brendan Dassey, whatever, original movie. Yeah. With all the silly fucking games. With all the propaganda shit. Just straight, exactly the way it is. That phone number goes straight to the office. It doesn't go to Barb down there. Hey, you know, in Convicting the Murder, they show the A on the 12930A, 12930A. There it is. You can't miss it. But the telephone bill goes to 12930. No way. No way. So therefore, that telephone line could not have been put on that answering machine. Oh, yes. I can't wait till October. I can't wait. I'm going to watch this whole thing. And I just, okay, there's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. You know, I just got to go back and just start logging them all in and then write screenplays and compare it with Making a Murderer. But only if it's fucking important. You know? Nah. You're gonna be so freaking easy. Time consuming, but easy. If you know all of the enemy's tricks, you know all the cuts, you know all the edits, you know all the fucking hiding shit, you know where it's at. Okay? Now, Casey Oliver, what are you gonna do? You gonna jump in and start writing screenplay? Ali Apperson, you know, Laura Keck, you guys are gonna start writing screenplay, or do I have it all by myself? All by myself? Okay, fine, fuck it. If you don't want to jump on board, okay, you don't want to jump on board, I'll remember you. Yeah. I take this thing down, I'll take this thing down because it's just too freaking easy. I take this thing down, and you guys come crying to my ass afterwards, fuck off. You weren't here. You spent your life studying this thing and putting up videos so that you'd be knowledgeable about it. And now you're just going to just down the toilet. Because I'm going to beat you to it. Okay? Yeah. I'll write the screenplay with or without you. It's easier with you. I got an idea. Why don't I just put up that session open source, whoever wants to frickin' jump in? Okay, here's how this works. I need a person that just does nothing but character. Just write down all the characters and who they are. So there's Somebody's in charge of characters. Who wants to be in charge of characters? Great. You don't do nothing but characters. I don't want you to do anything but characters. There's a character, stick it in. If that character is important. If the character is not important and they're off for some thrill, something else, I don't want it. Next, I need a location manager. Somebody that goes in there and just does nothing but locations. You're not in charge of names. You're not in charge of action. You're not in charge of character. You're not in charge of dialogue. You're not in charge of shit. The only thing is nobody puts in a slug line but that one person. And that one person don't put anything else in but slug lines. You're limited. That's 2. 3, action element. Can you see it? Yes. Well, then it's an action element. You do all the action. All the movements that are made, okay? Pertinent to Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey, Teresa Rehalbach, Bobby, and Scott, and Charles. Pretty much. Okay. We need somebody in charge of characters and somebody in charge of dialogue. All the dialogue, all the characters, one person in charge of all of it. If somebody's speaking, then that goes to the dialogue expert. Who is speaking what they say? All right? So far we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. We'll do that. And all this is just, it's not you don't put nothing into it. You don't put your idea onto it. You don't put your spin on it. You don't put your, whatever, your narrative. That don't go on it. No, just the facts. Just the facts, without all the thrills, without all the pearls, without all the fucking propaganda, just the facts. So, I'll put that number up to 6 people. Those 6 people will just do their job. You go down to queso, you get everything, every place in queso. MTSO? Yeah, every place in MTO. One person could do MTO, then one person does both of them. Those are 1,000 fucking pages. Just keep putting in locations. Those are locations where Teresa was actually at. Locations where Stephen was actually at. Just those characters. We don't need other characters. We just need the action on the ground. And that'll be our basis. And then we'll work from there. All right? There's more to it, but we got tagger. We got somebody go in there and do tagging. Anyway, I'll script this out. I'll hand it to you in the screenplay. But right now, I'll just tell you, hey, everybody, go get DailyWire. Go get DailyWire. Boom, there it is. Film it yourself. Put it in the archives. Okay? Don't upload it. Don't try to make money off of it. No, that's illegal shit. But here's the deal. Open source it. If you people, the best of the best, don't want to come on board, fuck y'all, then I'll do it by myself. I don't need you. And you will not be rewarded. Although I got my information from a lot of you. Although I formed my opinion from a lot of you. And formed my other opinion from a lot of you, all right? But if you don't get your ass down here in the grass, then you ain't going to get paid. So you better get your ass down here in the grass. You gonna let Candace Owens and the Daily Wire fuck you? Huh? Yeah, they even put Eric Ose on there. And that guy put in his time. We put in our time. And we got some fucking asshole over here. Ken Kratz and those guys all went to cahoots. Wow, Candace, you did real good getting it out of them, because now we can use a lot of it. Cool. So go watch them both. They're both pieces of shit. But, hey, watch them both. They're both propaganda pieces of shit. Not equally. This, from what I've seen so far, and the way they show them, they themselves are doing the exact same. So, they're the same. They're the same. Their editing is deceptive. It's fucked. It's a propaganda piece. And Candace Owens says she's going to get it right. Well, girl, you sat there and just read a script and you didn't have no idea what you was into. But you do now. So you're going to have to make an original and burn convicted of murderer, throw it under the bus. You're going to burn, you already burned making a murderer, but Teresa's still dead, it's still her vehicle to Turkey. Let me ask you about the key in the bedroom. You make so much shit about that. Candace, here's the key. Let me ask you a question. Where the hell was Steven during all this time? Well, they arrested his ass on gun charges, right? So, that trailer, when it's not being searched, is empty, right? Well, who says that Bobby didn't go? You went there to go search for the key because it was part of the plan, and when you got there, the key wasn't there. So you left. Hey, boss, we didn't find no key. We were supposed to find the Toyota key with Teresa's DNA on it, and we can't find it. Well, go back again. And go back, and you keep going back. And all this time, Chuck's sitting there saying, okay, it's your 7th search, right? Kind of ridiculous. Okay, Bobby, now go plant the key. So Bobby sneaks in there at night and sticks the key underneath the shoe. Okay? Why isn't that possible? Bobby goes in there and sneaks in there and he gets the key. Bobby can go in there and get the blood off of the sink. You know? They went in there and got the blood off of the sink and they put them on Q-tips and they sent it down to the lab. So the lab's sitting there with Q-tips from Avery's sink. They delivered it. They delivered his Firebird and there's blood sitting there on the Firebird. Oh, you people, fuck. And how do you get dried blood down there crinkled up in the carpet? It's dried blood. But it hadn't soaked into the carpet. It's just been sprinkled onto it. You got a lot of explaining to do. But the one thing I want to say before I take off is, fuck you!